Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball.
Tuesday, May 19th at 10:30 a.m., it's morning baseball. Wednesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m., have a pawsome time at Bark in the Park. Thursday, May 21st at 6:30, it's Pride Night with $5 Bud or Bud Light draft beer. Individual game tickets start at just $12.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
No one goes to Hank's for spreadsheets. They go for a darn good pizza. Lately, though, the shop's been quiet, so Hank decides to bring back the $1 slice. He asks Copilot in Microsoft Excel to look at his sales and costs and help him see if he can afford it. Copilot shows Hank where the money's going and which little extras make the dollar slice work. Now Hank has a line out the door. Hank makes the pizza, Copilot handles the spreadsheets. Learn more at m365copilot.com/work.
The television and Fox News on just now. Somebody help Jeanine Driscoll, please. I'm begging you. Come on, guys. And I'm watching Trump standing on stage with Mark Cuban in what was a very uncomfortable and awkward situation. Cuban has decided to try to help the president who he doesn't like. He's been very honest how much he doesn't like President Trump over the years, but I guess the drugs, the Trump RX, making drugs available at lower prices, Mark Cuban is all for that. So Cuban has decided now to help the president. So watching Cuban on stage yesterday with my friend Dr. Oz, who was in these studios just 3 days ago, and my friend Bobby Kennedy, is a weird look. Trump, Bobby, Oz, and Cuban. But it's good to see that every now and then some of these lunatic Democrats come to the realization that maybe Trump is trying to help. All right, big race coming up. Congress, Long Island. This young lady's been on this show once before. She was on with Peter King. This is her first solo appearance on the show and her first visit ever to the studio with me. She's running against Laura Gillen in the spot that my friend Anthony D'Esposito used to have. This is Jeanine Driscoll. Jeanine, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, Sid. Good morning to you.
Nice to have you here. Thank you for making the trip in. You got 6 states in play today, obviously, with Alabama, Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. This has nothing to do with Nassau County, but your race in the midterms will be a big deal. We need every seat we can keep, every seat we can get in your case. And there are some of these races today that President Trump and Sid Rosenberg really care about, specifically Kentucky, because for some reason Kentucky has amassed all these really bad Republicans. They hate Trump. They're all traitors, every one of them. Rand Paul, no good. Mitch McConnell, no good. But the worst of all is Thomas Massie. And every decent Republican in this country is hoping that Massie gets killed today by Ed Gilrain, Navy SEAL, running for that seat. How do you feel about these 6 races going on across America today?
Well, I mean, the one thing that I find that bothers me a lot is that a lot of these races, come from the fact that people are not standing behind the president and what the Republican agenda is. And I don't understand that, because we fought so hard to get to the point that we're at today with President Trump and his agenda. And why are these, people in Congress turning on him? And I have a real issue with that because, again, we can't risk going back to what we've been through, and we just experienced it. So I do think a lot of these races, they're all very critical, but certainly we want to see people elected that are going to stand with the president 100% of the time.
That's 100% true, and we just saw Bill Cassidy lose in Louisiana last week. That creep out of that senator out of Louisiana. Trump was funny. He goes, "I'm happy your career is over." And again, I'll be with President Trump coming up this Friday night right here in New York with Mike Lawler in Rockland County. Looking forward to have the president right here in New York. But again, he's keeping his eye on all these races. He'll keep his eye on yours. Yours is a big one. Laura Gillen, D'Esposito beat her. Then she came back. Then she beat him. He has decided not to run again. He's going to stay in that Labor Department where he serves right now as President Trump's general inspector. He's doing a very good job. He's uncovered billions of dollars in fraud, much like Lee Zeldin at the EPA and Dr. Oz with Medicare and Medicaid. So he's staying there. So here's your opportunity right now, Jeanine, to do what you can do to get that seat back on Nassau County. How's that going so far?
It's actually going really well, Sid. I've had an enormous amount of support, obviously, from the party, the local Nassau County Republican Party, but even an outpouring of support from people around the country, my friends, family, but even strangers, because they know that this seat is definitely flippable. I hate to use that word flippable, but it is flippable. And, we have really the factors that are supporting me are good. When we look at what the district is, who the people are in the district, there's a lot of middle-class people in the district who need relief that's not being offered to them right now through the current representation. And I've been there already for 7 years, and I have worked with all of the constituents on a daily basis, trying to lower their taxes, trying to teach them how they can, get relief from the federal and the state government to lower property taxes, and even to a certain extent, the income taxes with, what happened with SALT last year. So that I am very tuned into the needs of the constituents. A broader picture, the whole country, obviously, it is just incredibly important for us to maintain the House and really pick up more seats, because right now it's razor thin, and it makes it very difficult. And that also, like you were just going back to what you were saying, it gives people an opportunity to go against the president, because he knows that we're very vulnerable with such a thin majority.
It's an interesting place where you live, too, because there are more Democrats than Republicans. Yeah. That's the case, like 70,000 maybe in your district, but yet Bruce Blakeman has won the last 2 Nassau County executive races easily, not even close. He blew out his competitor, that psycho, last time. Anthony D'Esposito won, and we've seen Andrew Garbarino win, and obviously it's Suffolk, a little different, but, Lalota, he won too. And you've got great leadership with guys like Joe Cairo. He's terrific. I love Joe, and Peter King. So for some reason, we talk about common sense a lot. It doesn't exist in the Democrat Party. It's complete nonsense. It's a unicorn. It's a pipe dream. There's like one guy. His name is John Fetterman. That's it. The rest of the Democrat Party, it doesn't matter how they campaign. They all become lunatics because they're scared to death of the progressives and the DSA. So they're all lunatics, all of them. But yet for some reason in your county, where it's mostly Democrat, Republicans win.
I think that, well, believe me, that we definitely have fringe people too. They're there.
Oh, yeah.
But we have enough common sense Democrats and I think people who just don't want to become Republicans for whatever reason, they have an issue with it. And they see that the county is extremely successful. Bruce Blakeman has done a phenomenal job. He's a good friend of mine. I served with Bruce on the town board before he became the county executive. I actually also served with Anthony. So I know these guys really well. Bruce has done an unbelievable job in Nassau. People are happy with Bruce. They like him. He is like every guy. He's a family man, happily married, beautiful family, grandchildren. And he's normal to talk to. He wants to talk about sports. He wants to talk about how are you doing? How's your job? He always checks in with me. Always, ask how are you? How's your husband? So this is the kind of leadership we want. But he's done a great job economically. Last night, 86 new police officers graduated in Nassau County. Pat Ryder spoke. Pete King was there. Bruce, obviously, gave a speech. And it's so important for us to maintain what we have in Nassau. It's safe. Economically, it's sound. There are issues, obviously, that need to be addressed, and really that probably comes more from the congressional representation. But for right now, we do have those common sense Democrats, and I'm confident they're going to support me. I win when I've run twice in the town of Hempstead. That's a very large area, largest township in America, and both times I approached 60, something like that %. And so I have a lot of Democrats as well. So I do think we are, situated for a big win in November.
Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
Now, one more. Let's talk about some of these differences between you and your competitor. I do love Pat Ryder. He's a great police commissioner. He really is. I'm very, very close with Jessica Tisch here in New York, too. But I love Pat. I love Ann Donnelly. I helped Ann Donnelly win. They'll be the first to tell you that. Bruce Blakeman and Ann Donnelly will both admit when they first won, largely because of me. And I was friends with Laura Curran at the time. But here comes this Republican with white hair, a good speaker. I liked him. And they both won, and that has been a dream for Nassau County. But let's get to the big differences between you and the lady you're taking on, Laura Gillen. What are the 2 or 3 things that you promise voters in Nassau County that will get better if, in fact, they vote for you?
Well, the first thing is I will continue to do my advocacy on behalf of the taxpayers. To do whatever I can to lower taxes, property taxes. I'm constantly lobbying with the legislative body, trying to get, more income, income limits raised so that lowered, so that more and more people can, qualify for these exemptions. But the big difference between us, I think, and if you look at our resume, it's very similar. 2 women, married, kids, both of us lawyers, Catholic school educated. The biggest difference is that she just votes along whatever Hakeem Jeffries demands.
Oh, yeah.
And it is upsetting. She just does not look at what her constituents need or what they elected her to do. And so that, to me, is the biggest thing. I mean, I have a conscience. I'm a devout Catholic. I have a conscience. I am going to do the right thing. I'm elected to represent the people, and I take that very seriously. Listen, I'm not spring chicken. I'm old.
You look great.
We're the same age.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, 1967.
Okay. That's it.
So
that means I'm old too. Thanks.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm at a point. My kids are getting older. They're going to start getting married. I could probably retire in a couple of years, but I'm doing this because I really care about the people in Nassau. I care about my family. I have 5 kids. I have my family, the entire family lives out there. There's about 30 of us. That's just the immediate family. I have my 2 sisters, my brother, 17 nieces and nephews, 5 great nieces and nephews.
Where are you guys? What towns exactly?
So it's called the Village of Belrose. It's right next to Floral Park.
Yes.
And my one sister is in Floral Park. My other little sister, Jackie, and my brother John lives across the street from me with my dad. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But so we're all there,
yeah.
And it's not just about my family. Obviously, it's about families. I go to church on Sunday. I see massive amounts of people, and that's what I want to do. I want to continue trying to advocate for people, and really, senior citizens, veterans. These are people that have been left behind. Especially during the Biden years where we had open borders. And that's another thing, that Gillen did not really support, closing the border. How can you leave the border open? And that's another thing that I worry about because my little village borders Queens. And believe me, I grew up in Middle Village, Queens. I love the city. But I saw what happened with the open borders. These illegals are coming into my village. It was just a very bad situation, somewhat dangerous, riding around on these scooters. Pat Ryder actually had to come into my village and give a presentation, and they were arresting people left and right. So it just became untenable. I can't go back to that. So I'm all in, 1,000%. I got Chairman Cairo is unbelievable. I mean, you know him. He's amazing, amazing, and he's got my back, and I trust him. So I'm all in.
You're good. Now you've got the 5 towns too, right?
I do.
Yeah, I'll be in Hewlett later on tonight. What's the name of that place? I think Tommy Leonard told me. Sewanee. That beautiful. I guess it's a golf course.
Oh, that's a gorgeous golf course. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be in the 5 towns later too for something. I have 3 dinners tonight that I'm going to. One is, I think it's Cedarhurst.
Yeah.
But I'm
love Cedarhurst too. 2 of my oldest sisters are married in Cedarhurst. I was bar mitzvahed in Lawrence at Beth David. So I know the 5 towns very, very well. Well, it's great to meet you in person. I think you're terrific. I really do. I think you're going to win, and we're going to do everything we can here on Sid and Friends in the Morning to help you do that. You've got the great foundation, like you talked about, with all those terrific people out there in Nassau County. You know the issues. You're very smart. You've had political success in that county before. You're ripe for a victory, Jeanine, so let's get it done.
Thank you so much, Sid. I really appreciate you having me come in. I wanted to make a personal connection with you.
Nice to meet you. You're terrific. Jeanine Driscoll right there. She's running against Laura Gillen in Nassau County, and hopefully she's going to get us that Congress seat back. My prediction is she will.